This episode of What the Tech is brought to you by Casper, a sleep brand that's revolutionizing its line of products and creates an unbelievable, comfortable sleep experience. For a limited time, visit casper.com/savings and save up to $225 off your order. This special offer expires July 9th, 2018. RX Bar is a whole food protein bar with no BS. Get 25% off your first order by going to rxbar.com/Andrew and using the promo code Andrew. That's rxbar.com/Andrew, promo code Andrew.
What the tech?
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Tech. I'm Andrew Zarian. Of course, I'm joined by the one, the only Mr. Paul Thurrott. You're back.
I'm back.
And you're better than ever. Last week, you did not do a show with me. I ended up doing with John Prosser.
Oh, yeah.
On a Saturday,
The other Paul.
The other Paul. Well, you know what? I said, how you doing, John? He goes, pretty good. So I think he's taking your catchphrase at this point. He's
bastard.
A younger, more agile version of Paul. Better looking.
Sure.
It was fun. You know, it's actually interesting to do the show with him because it gives us such a different perspective where
a slightly less insane perspective.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Less angry, but I think he's getting the he's starting to get the Andrew and Paul rub now where he has upset a lot of people with his stance on certain things that Apple does, and I find that amazing because he has been a Apple user for many years. So now,
well, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to criticize. You can't do that.
You cannot.
You can't do that. You know, those keyboards don't work, and people bring them to the Apple Store and they get them fixed for free. 5 stars.
5 star. We do have a lot to talk about. Obviously, there are a lot of rumors regarding the inexpensive Surface tablet that Microsoft will be releasing. iPhone rumors, Andromeda news that we did not even discuss, you and I, which I'm shocked because that's my favorite topic to talk about, and that's Andromeda.
It's new. This just happened.
What, the Andromeda stuff? Last week, no?
Not the new stuff. There's new stuff to this week.
Okay, to this week. Okay. So we'll go over all of it, obviously. Paul, you were here last week.
Yeah, like a week ago Monday, so almost 2 weeks ago. It seems like it was, a month ago.
It really does. Mary Jo had a question for you. Why did you remove the photo of her giving me the finger from your Instagram?
I didn't.
It was gone. I did not see it there.
No.
Then I'm spreading rumors.
No, you know why? No, here's why. It's not a top level photo. It's in a photo group.
It's in a photo group. Okay.
I bet that's why you don't see it. So if you go to my photos of that day,
I think everybody should see this photo.
It is pretty funny. Yeah, it's the one with the which one is it?
Yeah, I don't see it. See,
I think it's the one with the tots. Yeah. You look. It looks like a picture of tots. It's in that group. It's from our visit to Rattle and Hum.
Oh, there it is. That was the theme. Apparently, everybody's giving everybody the finger. Mary Jo gives me the best smiling FU photo I've ever seen in my life, and I think it's the most hysterical thing ever.
I've never seen her so happy.
I've never seen her so happy either. We do have a lot to get to, obviously, but before we do, I want to take a moment and talk about our sponsor, and that's Casper. Now, Paul, you bought a Casper mattress, correct?
I did.
That's true. Did. And how excited are you? Your third Casper mattress.
Well, I mean, I'm excited just to replace the hunk of crap we were sleeping on previously. So, that was good. And Casper is a known quantity. What's that?
What were you on prior to that?
Well, I don't even know the name of it. It's just a traditional mattress, yeah.
Yeah, they actually I hope you used our promo because they got a great deal. You did not. Well, I think you unfortunately
no, the reason is no, I still used a code, but I felt like it was an ethical issue
to use someone else. Yeah,
like using my own Amazon code to buy something. It's probably
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But they have a great deal right now till July 9th, guys. If you are looking to get a Casper mattress, this is the time to do it. I've had a Casper mattress for about 2-3 years now, and it's honestly the best mattress I've ever owned. I legitimately advocate in real life, not this fantasy YouTube and web show thing that I do. In real life, I literally constantly tell people you should get a Casper mattress because it really, from my experience, it's been the best sleep that I've had. And it's been the best thing for my back because I got a terrible, terrible back. 4 herniated discs, all this stuff. Again, this isn't medical advice. I'm not telling you this as a medical thing. For me, it really worked. And I was very skeptical as to a mattress helping me with my problem. And it was absolutely phenomenal. They got a 100-day risk-free trial. Considering the fact that we spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping on a mattress, it's pretty important that you really get a good, comfortable sleep. And when you're committed to it, that's why Casper gives you 100 nights to try it out. And they're very confident that you're going to like this thing. All the Casper mattresses are made in the U.S., by the way, which is excellent. And they have a great deal till July 9th. So you only have a couple days left for this deal. But if you go to Casper.com/savings, you can save up to $225 off your order, which is a phenomenal deal, to be honest. I'm almost contemplating ordering a mattress tonight because I want to try one of their new mattresses. I feel like, it's like tech almost. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the new Casper came out this year. I better order it.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
The MacBook Pro, not the MacBook.
Yeah, I want the MacBook Pro, not the MacBook. Casper.com, by the way, they're all phenomenal. Casper.com/savings, save up to $250 off your order. The special offer expires July 9th, 2018. I don't know what happened.
So, by the way, if you don't mind, I know they're an advertiser and whatnot, but I did sleep on this thing for the first time last night.
How'd it go?
It was good, and I'm probably going to write something up about this today. Our previous mattress we had not owned for that long, maybe 3 or 4 years, but it was a disaster from the get-go. In fact, the first one we got, we had a return and exchange, and the second one ended up being even worse over time. I'm going to go up and look at, not now, but I mean, when I do my write-up, I'm going to go look and see what it was. But in the Boston area, we have a place called Jordan's Furniture, which is where most people buy things like this. And we did not do that with this mattress, and I kind of regret that. But having had experience with the Casper stuff, because we have 2 other Casper mattresses in the house, my son and daughter's rooms.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a good choice, and the funny thing is, like when my daughter got hers, she complained originally that it was too stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, look, we have sometime, before we have to return it. So why don't you sleep on it for a few nights and see how it goes? And over time, she found that it was fine, and she loves it now.
Yeah. I think that's the thing.
But here's the thing.
For a lot of people. Yes.
The one I got is incredibly soft.
Which one did you get? The Wave?
No, I got the original version, like king size. Like it's not hard at all.
The Essential or the Casper?
Whatever the basic. Casper, I think. I don't know. Whatever. It was like $1,000.
Yeah.
For king size. So that made me a little nervous at first. In fact, when we first took it out of the box, it kind of expands like a life raft or something.
Yeah.
It was so soft, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Maybe it needs time. It will get thick over time, like it's setting bread or something. It didn't. But when we went to bed, I found it to be very comfortable, and I have conflicting attitudes about this kind of thing, and I shouldn't attribute this to the bed, but because I have such terrible sleep problems, I had gone to a doctor 4 or 5 years ago and said, look, I can always tell when I have a bad night's sleep because I remember my dreams really well. That tells me I'm not sleeping well. But he said, I actually kind of disagree with this, but he said, no, actually it's the opposite. That's an indication that you're sleeping well.
What do you have?
But I woke up this morning, not nightmares, just dreams, stupid dreams. But sometimes you wake up from a dream and you remember it very vividly. And sometimes you can feel it just escaping. Like the second you wake up, it's there, but then it goes away really quick. And anyway, I had very vivid dreams right before I woke up this morning. And but I woke up, I have to say, I slept well for
That's
me.
interesting.
You know,
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I want to. You should do
One
like
night.
a
I
long
mean, it's just
study
one
on this. Yeah, because for me, it took
Sure.
like a couple weeks, and then I felt like my back was way better. So,
Well,
and
my
again,
mattress was so terrible. You know, dude, if I would sleep on like an inflatable mattress, and it would be wonderful. If I go to a hotel, someone else's house, it's even no matter what it's like, it's always such a wonderful thing to get away from my mattress.
yeah,
So no, I mean seriously, it's like,
yeah,
and it was like that last night. It was just such a relief to sleep on something else. You know.
yeah. Very interesting. I'm curious to see
Yeah.
how well this goes for you, Matt. This is Mattress Talk. I'm Andrew Zarian. This is Paul
Yeah,
Thurrott.
Pillow
and
Talk.
We're gonna Pillow Talk. This is Pillow Talk, sponsored by Casper.
Oh boy.
So let's start off with the new Surface, right? The rumored.
Mhm.
I don't. How do I say this? I was told certain things
Okay,
by somebody,
I see.
and I don't know what has gone public. So
Well, nothing it's all rumors.
well,
now,
it's all
so
rumors, but I mean,
I've not heard anything directly with regards to rumors. So
okay.
you know,
So-
we have something up on the site. It's based on what other people have published. It seems
So-
credible.
Yeah, $400 Surface. So and by the way, I'm not signed to an NDA or anything. I just don't want to spill the beans on something before.
Well, it's all over the place. I
Okay.
mean,
So I
you
guess
know.
I guess I could talk about everything. So it's going to be a $400 or so Surface, and it's going to be running. It's going to be running an Intel. It's still Intel. It's not ARM, correct? And
Yeah, there was a curiously detailed report about the processor types. Like there'd be two versions. One of them was like a Pentium Silver. The other one was a Pentium Gold. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I've never even heard of these processors. But
so the lead.
well-
So the person that told me, by the way, is close to Intel, not Microsoft.
interesting.
So this makes me think that these leaks all came from Intel to promote their chipset.
I mean,
So-
okay, but it's kind of interesting because, yeah, I think the processor part of, well, okay, actually, let me step back for a second. I think the interesting thing here is that Microsoft used to have a product called Surface 3, and Surface 3 addressed what we assume is basically the same part of the market,
Yeah.
which is people can't afford a Surface Pro.
What was the entry
Education,
price for that?
students. I want to say that the lowest end, this is off the top of my head, I bet it was $499 or $599, depending on the configuration.
Okay, because
That
I have
was
a
an
Surface 3
Atom-based-
here.
It was an Atom-based system. It had 2 or 4 gigabytes of RAM. It had a slow eMMC storage, which was actually one of the bigger performance contributors, you know, problems. This I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think it was still a 16:9 display, not a 3:2, which is the new style. And I haven't seen anything about whether this new thing is 3:2 or 16:9. I kind of assume, given the direction Microsoft has gone in, is that they'll keep the newer aspect ratio style.
So this is a Surface 3 right here.
Okay.
I don't know which one this is though. 64 gigs. But
Yeah, so
doesn't
I believe the configurations were 2 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage.
Yeah, but which processor would this be?
It's an Atom.
It's
Intel
an
Atom.
Atom in here.
Yep.
But they did have, I mean, I'm curious because I have another Surface that is not an Atom.
Another Surface what?
A Surface 3.
No, the Surface 3 was only Atom.
Only Atom. Okay, so then that one's a Surface 4 because I have to bring it to repair. So now that helps me.
Well, there's a Surface. So, well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
What you're holding there looks to me like a Surface Pro 3.
Yes.
That's a different product.
Yes. That's
Surface
but it
Pro
doesn't
3.
say. It doesn't say what it is. It just
Right,
says
but
Surface on it.
Surface Pro 3 was the first 3x2 Surface device. I don't have a Surface 3 here in front of me, but looking at that from afar, I can see there's a cooling vent on the back. That would have been for the Core i5 processor that thing would have used. The fan noise on that thing is fairly horrific.
Yes, it is.
Surface 3, I believe, just had passive cooling, and I don't think there was a fan. And there might not have been fan vents. I'd have to go look that up. I don't remember. But anyway, it was a little piece of crap, and it was just kind of a terrible computer. But it did address an important part of the market. And so, when they kind of got rid of it and didn't replace it with a Surface 4 or whatever, I thought, well, that's kind of odd. It seems like this meets a need. And it appears that they're going to meet that need again. And so, Surface Pro, whatever, Surface Pro 4, the new Surface Pro, Surface Laptop, the base price of these devices had been $999 for a long time, but that was kind of a crappy configuration. And they've come down in price so that both of these things can be had for the $799 range.
Yeah.
And then $999 for a really nice one. And that's a great price range. It's kind of price competitive with MacBook Air. It's, price competitive with the other premium PCs from different companies, but it doesn't address that low end of the market, which consists of education, kids, second computers at home, that kind of thing.
So, by the way, it's a i3 Surface Pro. It's not an i5. This is I have three.
I
of them here, by the way.
didn't even know they had such a thing. All right, so that was probably the low end version. Yeah.
Yeah, I have three of them here.
It's the Surface Pro.
One is a Surface 3, and I don't know what the other two are. I have to wipe them out essentially for work.
Yeah, okay. There was a low end version with 64 gigs.
I know that some of the low ends. I have an i5 sitting here somewhere also. So you know what? This is a great example, right, of how you have no idea what this is. If I
have no idea what it is.
No. I'm saying not you.
Well,
in general,
I saw I think if I was sitting there in front of you, I would have known exactly what it was, other than the processor thing, right? So looking up Surface Pro 3 Core i3, what I find is that 4 years ago, they introduced they had this lower end version that was designed to have it come in at $799. Like they're still struggling to get to this price point. They're doing the same thing today with the newer products.
Yeah. This was intended for students, by the way, the i3 Pro.
Okay.
Surface.
Well, yeah, it's just inexpensive, less expensive. Sure.
So this is interesting. So the processors, let's talk about this for a second. And this, it is going to have the cheaper version of the smaller Surface will have an Intel Pentium Silver N5000, and the more expensive version will have an Intel Pentium Gold 4410Y. Or an Intel
literally know
Gold.
Nothing about these products.
These
processors.
So I don't know much.
First
about
of all,
this.
what generation? What are we talking about here? Is this Kaby Lake? Is it?
Let's find out.
Some other lake?
This is where Paul and I start doing research that we should have done prior. It's Kaby Lake.
Well, I don't quite understand the market differentiation between Pentium, Celeron, if they still have that. They might not have Celeron. There's Y series, there's Core M, but I think Core M is getting away for, is going away for Y series. U series,
this. It has it's a Kaby Lake. It's for mobile.
How many cores?
Let's see. Cores 2, threads 4, so it's a dual core.
Yep.
It's 1.5 gigahertz processor base frequency. And it has interesting. Memory size, max size is 16 gigs. Okay, fine. That's fine. Intel HD graphics 615.
Yeah, it's sure.
So this is not a great chip. This is not it's a 1.5 gigahertz chip.
Okay, but it's a dual core.
Dual core.
The word Pentium should be an alarm for anybody. I guess. Well, okay. So here's the point. This thing has to come in at a low cost. It's going to be, less powerfully spec'd than a Pro device. Okay, fine. I hope that the performance is better than it was with the Surface 3, which was terrible. I don't think I've ever seen a report about what kind of storage they're using, but I have a very great memory that the eMMC part of that equation actually contributed more to the performance issues of that device than the processor did. And of course, I don't know if we've seen anything about RAM configurations, but Surface 3, like I said, came in 2 and 4 gig configurations. 2 gigs is back then, today, same thing, is completely unusable. 4 gigs is like a minimum for like one app at a time type computing. And I'm who knows what this thing comes with.
So this is fascinating. So here's the bizarre thing, okay? The Silver, the Pentium Silver, runs
really
on the
processor.
Yeah, I am, because it runs on the Gemini Lake.
Gemini Lake. I don't
Yeah.
even know what that is.
Product formerly known as Gemini Lake. And it's a 14 nanometer, but its base frequency is 1.1 and the burst frequency is 2.7. Okay. So this is an way older chip.
Really?
Well, I guess maybe one generation older.
It's weird to me that they're using two different chips.
Yeah.
It seems like...
Well, they're using 3 chips, right? You're going to have the option of 3 chips. So what is... So I know that it's going to be $399, right? Assuming $399. Okay. If you spec this thing out with the higher chip, the gold chip, where are you now in pricing? Because now if you're in $650.
Oh, you're more than that. You got to remember you have to add in the cost of a type cover. I don't think anyone's ever discussed that, or if they're, Surface Pro today has its own type cover. They cost, I think, $129 for a basic one, $160 for, one of the signature ones or one of the nicer ones. Obviously the pen is separate too. That's $100 right there. And I think it works a little bit like car models or, other PC models. If you spec this thing out, it's going to cost more than the lower end version of a Surface Pro. That makes sense. That's how you cross over those lines. You could have a maxed out lower end version or low end better version, right? I mean, it's common.
I don't know. I'm curious about this. I'm curious obviously education, but it's
yep. Seems
it's not going to be cheap. Even though it's inexpensive, it's not gonna be really inexpensive. If you're starting at $400,
what's it competing with though?
I don't know. Who is it competing with? That's a good question. An iPad?
Well,
iPad Pro?
Apple says iPad into education for $299 or less. I think, right? Is an education $289 or something, or whatever.
Something
the price
like
is,
that,
$285. Yeah. It's a far less capable device from a computer standpoint, right? I mean, it's a far more capable device from an entertainment consumption standpoint. For the education market, I think Microsoft still gets a nod at $100 more per device. I mean, it's actually more than that because you need the keyboard, but you're getting a computer. It may be a crappy computer, but it's a computer. iPad Pro is very expensive. An iPad Pro with a keyboard and a pencil or whatever approaches $1,000. I mean, those are expensive. But the other thing, and this is kind of the dark horse, and this might actually explain why they're doing this right now, is Chromebook tablets are a thing, right? Yeah. The first one just came out. I think it's the HP Chromebook X2, I think they're calling it, whatever. And it's, it's a tablet form factor with a kickstand, a keyboard cover. I'm sure there's a pen thing, whatever. I'm not really too up on that, but that device is probably in the mid $500-600 range, somewhere in there. So it's probably comparable to that. And then you have an interesting conversation because the Chromebook is a computer. There's decent software there. There's good management. And I think this is more of a closer direct competitor than an iPad or an iPad Pro.
Yeah, I'm still subscribed to the philosophy that an iPad is not really a computer, and it's not a replacement.
No, I do too.
For a desktop.
But Apple achieves such huge mind share, and any educator looking at this stuff should walk away from an iPad immediately. But I think there's still an allure to it. And we have this dream of the classroom of the future where we're all looking at holograms and it's like a school in Battlestar Galactica or something.
It's going to happen.
The other, it will happen. And it might happen with Apple too. I don't discount that. But I think the other interesting thing around the processor is why they're going with Intel, right? Why didn't they go with Qualcomm? Microsoft is sitting here pushing this Windows on ARM thing. It seems like Qualcomm processors would be particularly optimized for a mobile device, especially a tablet. The first 2 Qualcomm-based PCs that have shipped so far, the Asus and the HP, are both tablets with, well, no, that's not true. I'm sorry, that's not true. Only the HP is. The Asus is actually just a laptop, but they're both portable computers. And long battery life would be kind of crucial for a school day, especially on a shared machine. You could kind of make the argument that maybe this thing would make some sense. And I think I can only guess. First of all, this thing has to have been in development for a year or two or whatever amount of time. It's not like they just popped it out last week. I guess it would have to be based around the fact that at the time of its inception, maybe the Qualcomm thing wasn't fully baked. And if you look at the 835 today in these PCs, the performance is terrible. Yeah. And the promise is that future chips like the 850 or the 1000 will solve those performance problems. And then that the passage of time will solve some of the compatibility problems that we still see on the software end. So, Pentium, I can't even imagine. I'm not a hardware guy, but you kind of look at the price sheet for all the Intel stuff, and you can do the math on not just the cost, but the performance and the price performance ratio. And it's kind of weird to me.
Well,
to hear the word Pentium today.
I'll tell you though,
on a service.
If the purpose of this is education, right? Let's say the Pentium would be good enough because you can still watch HD videos, and you can pretty much do all the word processing that you need to do. And its sole purpose, it would be education and some media consumption. You're not going to be able to play games. So I think that's how they justify to push the Pentium, where, listen, it's perfectly fine if you're going to be doing word processing and some YouTube videos. And I'm sure that if when they go to show this off, it could watch 4K videos. Yeah. It'll most likely be able to handle some of it. Other than watching, high-res videos on YouTube and doing word processing and emails, what else would you do on an education-targeted device?
Well, assuming that's, I don't think it's just education, right? They're not going to sell this into the education market.
I'm just saying, if that was your mentality, that it's only, it's purpose, like Chromebooks, to be honest, are geared towards education. They don't say it's only for education, but the general usage would be simple word processing.
But that's just normal usage. I think Chromebooks actually are being pushed to businesses today. As well as just individuals. If you want another computer, I think there's this market, I think, and it's a big market for people that want another computer at home or a computer at home, and that thing can be kind of basic. Most people aren't necessarily going to, play the latest version of Doom at 4K resolution with stereo speakers or whatever. They just, like you said, they want to do basic word processing. They're going to browse the web and do email. They want something of their own, not something that's from work, right?
Yeah.
Chromebooks satisfy this need. There are Windows PCs absolutely that satisfy this need. Apple doesn't make a product that satisfies this need unless you consider the iPad something that falls into that
MacBook
category.
Come on, the MacBook.
It's too expensive. It just doesn't. If the MacBook, if it was a $500 MacBook
on your almighty, northeastern.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Liberal bias.
Bias.
Sure.
Expensive by who? No, you're right. It's very expensive. Hey, listen, MacBook Air. Great. You know what? I think that's justified. $799, right? How much is it now?
It's a great computer for that price. There's no doubt about it. I wish the high, the resolution was higher.
$999.
Of course,
$999.
It's good. It's a good computer. But it's also $999, and that's too much money for a lot of people. So
yeah. Listen,
it depends on which way you're skewing here. As far as how you're going to use the thing.
I've kind of shifted my mentality about how we use PCs. For the longest time, I've always subscribed to the belief that you spend more, and it'll last you. And I still subscribe that for myself. But for most people, I find it hard to justify over $800 for a computer. I find it very hard to justify it. This is something that you beat up, essentially. If you're traveling, like Paul, you work from home. I travel every single day for work, every day, which is bizarre.
So a consumer class PC is not going to cut it for you. That thing would fall apart in your bag just by virtue of the fact that you're picking it off the desk, putting it in the bag, picking it off the desk, putting it in the bag.
Can we talk about my MacBook Pro and how that's handled?
Which should be able to withstand this trip.
Well, it didn't. It doesn't. Yeah. By the way, I also found. I want to save this to the end. All these MacBook problems that I've been having?
Yeah.
I have a crazy theory as to what is happening, and this is going to blow your mind when I tell you this. I'm going to save this for the end of the show. It's going to, honestly, you're going to think to yourself, oh my God, this could possibly be it. So for work, you know what I'm taking? That HP. The
Sure.
Elite.
That thing will never fall apart. Yeah, the
dude,
Elite book.
that thing. I mean, it's pricey. It's not cheap. I mean, those HPs are not cheap at all. It's like $2,400. This one that I have spec'd out, but
Right.
It was given to me to beat up. When they had actually, I was told. Can I quote? Yeah, I was told to beat the shit out of it, essentially, and
Sure.
tell them how it holds up.
Yep.
And
it will
I
hold
really,
up.
I put this thing through abuse. My kid uses this. My 2-year-old uses this for her YouTube videos before bed.
Right.
So it takes a beating.
Yep.
There's no way that my MacBook could have done it.
I mean, your MacBook should be able to withstand the same level of treatment, given its cost, the materials they use, the build quality.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah. I want to talk about Andromeda also. I don't want to forget about this, but before we do, and I also want to talk about this MacBook and this new theory. This is becoming a conspiracy show, and what I'm going to do a straight-on shot of me, zoomed in, and I'm going to do my best Alex Jones.
I liked it better when we were doing pillow talk.
You want to go back to pillow talk and not tech conspiracy theories? The Illuminati,
Listen,
the
you
reptilians. The reptilian. You know what? I'm going to start doing my live reads like Alex Jones at this point. I think that's where we're headed right now. Hey, before we continue, guys, I do want to talk about our great sponsor, and that's RX Bar. Talking about going places and me going to work every day. Every single day, I throw one of these in my bag. I am a animal when it comes to eating. Okay, I'm starving all the time. I require a lot of protein to function properly. You could tell because I put on about 15 pounds in the last year, which I got to drop. And the biggest problem that I have is the second I get on that train, I'm starving. And the first thing I'm thinking about is going to this place called Lenwich. It's in Manhattan. It's right by my office. And getting a sandwich. I mean, this is like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, I want like a big sub. I just want everything. The only way I've been able to kind of fight this urge is by having an RX bar on my way to the office, and by the time I get there, I'm no longer hungry because it gives me all the protein that I need to keep my mind functioning. And they just introduced 3 new flavors: mango, pineapple, peanut butter, and berries, and chocolate hazelnut. They also have the RX nut butter, which is actually unbelievably delicious. It's made with the same core ingredients of the protein bars in almost like a peanut butter. And it has, the base includes peanuts or almonds, egg whites, and dates, which is actually amazing. And guys, you can save 25% off your first order at RX Bar by going to rxbar.com/Andrew and using the promo code Andrew. These guys are phenomenal. I honestly, I have one here. Actually, they're all over my house, Paul. It's literally all over my house, and they keep sending it to me because I used to buy it every day from this cafe downstairs because I'm like, oh, these guys are great, and they ended up signing up with me, so it's absolutely perfect. So now they're just sending it to me, which is saving me some money, but you can save some money too if you go to rxbar.com/Andrew. Get 25% off your first order. Have you had an RX bar, Paul?
No.
They need to send you a case. Hey guys, can you send Paul a case, please? And give him the nut butter. Send him that too. He'll absolutely love it. rxbar.com. Let's go to Andromeda.
Okay.
Let's take Is this it, Paul? Is this what we've been waiting for?
I have no idea.
That is not that's a surface. So these are renders that somebody made. Okay, that last week my inbox was flooded and my Twitter was flooded with people saying, "Have you seen that foldable Surface that Microsoft released?"
It's going to change everything, Andrew.
And I got this, and it's convincing. And I said, the guy that I was talking to was kind of educated with this stuff. I was like, "Where did you see this?" He goes, "Oh, Microsoft put this out. It's leaked images from Microsoft. These are renders. Somebody made this. Microsoft didn't make this."
No.
This is fake. So this is the concept based on the
like patent
I
filings.
guess the patent filing. Yeah, the patent filing. This is kind of what somebody has put together. But so there is some new news. So let's go backwards. So this render came out about a week and a half ago. People lost it and said, "This is it." All I'm thinking is, "Oh my God, it's the courier.
I like
it's
that
happening."
this render is news, but yeah, okay, yep.
I'm waving my
Nerd
flag
in his
of
parents' basement draws a picture is not news to me, but go on.
I'm saying, "Oh my God, my courier will arrive soon. This is what I've been waiting for 8 years. The courier is alive."
Let me ask you a question. What are you going to run on that thing, Andrew? What's the compelling use case?
You know what the compelling? You know why it's compelling? It's the first.
No.
I mean, it's not the first of its kind, but it's different, and I think different sometimes is compelling to people, but they don't know why. The fact that you could fold this up, put it in your pocket, and go.
You mean like a phone?
Okay. So can I have a whole
why
concept.
Why is it better than a phone?
It's not better than a phone. I have a whole reason for this, okay? I don't think this device is ever getting made. Which you have discussed on Thurrott.com as to why it's not going to be made. Now, I haven't read anything new that you put on the last couple days. So I'm just going based on my theory and what I've seen. Terry Myerson's gone. And this was kind of his thing, right?
Yep. Well,
I don't think this is I'm so sorry for that beep, guys. I swear to God, my Verizon is coming to change this ONT that's in my wall, and I have no control over this anymore. There's no silent button on it anymore. It doesn't work. I've ripped the battery out, so there's no battery to beep anymore. It's just an endless beep of insanity at this point. I don't think this will be made for a couple of reasons. One, I think this may have been Terry Myerson's project, an idea. He's gone, so that's a whole separate story. Two, this may be just a reference device for the PC, the Surface of the future, maybe, where they could My theory, without knowing anything more, and this is just my assumption, is that this was going to be used as some sort of reference for OEMs to kind of follow for a new category of tablet. That was my theory.
Okay.
It was never intended to be a new Surface.
I'll tell you, institutionally, Microsoft likes to think of itself as an innovator, and specifically an innovator of form factors. They don't really have a lot of credibility in that area, but they love this. They love this story. And the one example we can point to, even though they didn't invent it, is the Surface Pro form factor, which is a tablet with a detachable keyboard cover and a kickstand. And every PC maker on earth has copied it. This is a fact. But
that was the point of that device. That really was the intention, right? I
think Microsoft intended to sell devices too. But I mean, yes, if they can inspire PC makers to think beyond the beige box and do these new form factors, they consider that a win because it benefits
with the
entire
RT.
ecosystem.
I mean, with the Surface RT, right? That when it came out, I remember everybody was saying this is to push the OEMs into Windows 8, and this is the perfect device for Windows 8, and this was the nudge that the OEMs needed.
Well, Microsoft failed in that regard because Windows 8 was a disaster, and it did push PC makers to adopt Chrome OS. Because they were so upset that Microsoft entered the PC market. So, I get it. I mean, anyway, but again, they're desperate to be able to have another example they can point at that other people have copied. So, I agree with you because there are split PC designs that we've seen hints of, Dell and Intel, that Microsoft would like to be aspirational in this way again, for sure. And I think that would be a big part of a push from within to actually make this device.
Do you think it's going to get made?
Well, I think it's still
and for
up in the air. Yeah. I mean, look, if you look at this device and you say, look, this is a new kind of a phone, right? And if Microsoft were, I don't think Microsoft views it that way, but let's pretend that they do. You've already failed, right? This product compared to phones is going to fail. There's no way around that. If you position it like HP positioned the Elite X3, which was a phone, by the way, but it was a phone that had a continuum dock and a keyboard, and mouse, and a screen, and it was sold to businesses as a PC solution. You have a lower bar to cross, right? The PC world is much smaller. We don't really know the individual unit sales of particular PC models for the most part. If this thing sold 10 or 100,000 units or whatever, that might not necessarily be a failure, especially if it inspired other PC makers to copy the design and make their own versions of it. But the recent news this week is that Microsoft has delayed the release of this thing and the software that runs on it until at least the beginning of next year, and may never make the thing at all, which I think is the logical outcome here, that this product makes no sense on any level. And with regards to, the potential markets, a dual screen device is something you could write on one side and read on the other. It would be good for note takers, I guess, schools, press, whoever people that need to take notes in meetings, whatever. It might be an interesting solution for what Microsoft calls frontline workers, but then everything is apparently, it's really kind of unclear what the deal is there. It's another example of them making an excellent looking hardware product, right? And so they have these designs. If you look at the Xbox One S or X, if you look at the Surface Hub, especially the coming Surface Hub 2, you see, and you look at any Surface device, really, there's an excellent design sense there. And whether or not you may pick one of these things up and say, this is what I want for myself, I think most people could at least look at this and say, the designers are onto something. Like these are really pretty devices. But I just don't think it makes sense as a product. There's no supporting app or content ecosystem that makes any sense. And certainly on the mobile side. And I just think making this thing would be a mistake.
Yeah,
Microsoft got out of the phone business. They canceled Surface Mini. They should cancel this. It just doesn't make any sense. So
this would have to have phone capabilities, right?
I don't know, have to have, but when you look at the size of it and something you'd fit in a pocket, it certainly could have. Windows has cellular capabilities. There's a phone app they could use, if they wanted to. They've had one. It could have, sure.
Yeah, I find it difficult to think Microsoft thinks this device would sell.
Yeah.
Well,
think of the precedent, right? One of the advantages of Windows Phone and then Windows 10 Mobile was this continuum thing. The notion that you could dock the phone, attach a keyboard and mouse and a display and use it like a computer. The problem with that system was that the mobile apps ecosystem was garbage on Windows Phone and on Windows Mobile. And then you could blow those terrible apps to full size, and it was sort of like a PC, but it didn't run PC apps. There's a competing solution called I've got the name of it, the Samsung thing, DeX. It's a dock for the Samsung S flagship phones. I think maybe for the Note as well. Same exact system. You plug it in, and now you've got Android apps full screen. This thing hasn't sold particularly well either. This is not like there are no major businesses that have rolled this out. You don't really hear about people doing this, but this dream has been sort of kept alive, that we'll have this all-in-one kind of hybrid device that will work in your phone in your pocket as a phone, and will work on your desk as a computer. Now, on the DeX side, on the Samsung side, the mobile app and content ecosystem makes tons of sense. It's Android. That works great. The full screen experience on a big desktop display is probably okay, because it's Android, and Android, sort of, there are Android tablet apps and so forth. They're probably okay. But neither that thing nor Continuum with Windows 10 Mobile is great. Like, you couldn't describe either of these as great. Microsoft faces the same problem today with this thing. It's whatever, but they also face the same Samsung problem, which is that Samsung is rumored to be making a 2-screen device, foldable screens, all these innovative form factors as well. Who do you think is going to have better luck making an innovative mobile device today, Microsoft or Samsung? It's not going to be Microsoft.
No, Microsoft hasn't really had success in that.
No, and even the Samsung thing, like if Samsung comes up with something similar, like open it up, it's got 2 screens, it works like a phone. Even that thing's not going to do very well, really. It's you know, it's going to be interesting because it's crazy, but it's not gonna, it's not like the next market. You know, it's not like a new business. It's just kind of a quirky, weird device.
I think it's how do I say this? I think I mean, does it make sense for them to get back in mobile like that in this case as a phone for Microsoft ever? I mean, unless you know, I honestly think that their future would have to be Android and have, you know, create a very nice Android, you know, obviously a Surface device that runs Android, and you skin this thing and you make it like what everybody else does, and you put your own launcher on there, and here you go.
You know, a lot of people have kind of asked for that, what you're describing, and it's hard to understand how this might be implemented. But the dockable Continuum device that I was talking about, if that phone was Android, and then you plugged it into the dock, and it was now Windows. And the point, why would you have two different systems, right? The point is you've got shared storage that has all your documents or whatever you're working on, and they're available everywhere. I mean, they're available anywhere in the cloud, but I'm just trying to understand like what could make sense. And you want Android on the phone, but you want Windows on the desktop. So we have got these two different things today, and I think they need to stay two different things. It's okay, you know. Yeah. Microsoft is software solutions, so you can move back and forth between the documents you're working on those two different devices, like Timeline. They have the apps on both sides. And so if you're sitting here in front of a big computer and you're working on a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet or a PowerPoint presentation or whatever it is, and now you're sitting on a train going to work and you get 30 minutes to kill, and for some reason you don't want to read or watch a TV show and you want to work like a jerk, I guess you could pull out your phone and you open stupid apps, and you can do light editing and you can read and stuff, and that's fine. You could do that if you wanted to. And, you know, obviously you're saving it to the cloud. Everything's syncing back and forth because of Timeline. Maybe it becomes a little easier to find something specific, but honestly, the way those mobile apps work today, they have a really good recents list, and it kind of works today. It's fine. You know, it's like, it's there if you want it, but I just don't, I'm not 100% sure that this is just a huge need. I mean, even, you know, will making this thing more seamless through a single device somehow solve a problem for real people? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. Let's take a moment and hey, you tested that Huawei laptop, right? Have you done it yet?
Yep.
Did we talk about it?
I do not remember.
Okay, because people are saying it's the best laptop on the market today.
Yeah, people are saying that.
People are saying this.
I also said that.
You did?
Yeah.
So what's your opinion of it?
What this thing is a Windows PC that looks and has the build quality of a MacBook Pro. It has a 3x2 display, like a Surface, which is optimal for productivity work. Mm-hmm. It has one of the better keyboards I've used, an excellent trackpad, modern and legacy expandability, edge-to-edge display. The only downside is this is kind of goofy. You should look at my review. I think I'm sure I have a picture of it. They have a fake key on the keyboard in the function row that you press and the camera pops up. So the camera doesn't take up any space in the bezels.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of the Dell effect where you get that up the nose look, but it's also kind of a privacy feature, right? Because when the key's down, the camera can't see anything. You don't have to worry that Mark Zuckerberg's looking at you get dressed or whatever. The other thing that's kind of amazing about it is just the price. And I did a price comparison of this thing versus Apple's products. It comes in dramatically less expensive, but also against competing products. Not that there's anything exactly like it. But if you look at the high end, you know, HPs and ThinkPads, Surface products and so forth, you know, they can be very expensive. This one, the most expensive configuration is $1,500 for a Core i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. The closest equivalent MacBook Pro is $2,200.
Wow.
The closest comparable Surface laptop is $2,200, but that thing has a previous generation 2 core processor and one USB port. You know, it's kind of crazy. So this is the rare thing, when I look at products, whatever it is, like a laptop or a phone or whatever, you can kind of go down the list. Like, here's what's good about it, and here's what's bad about it. And my list of what's good about it is everything I described. It's got awesome battery life. It's got crazy good audio, quad speakers, and so forth. Great expansion, excellent specs, 3x2 display, good price, keyboard and touchpad, awesome, premium design. And then you look at like the what's wrong with it list, the cons list. It's like the webcam. It's like the only thing I could come up with. It's a great computer, and it's a really good value.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on it because it looks beautiful.
Really nice.
It looks beautiful.
Also, they because it's like USB-C, they ship one of these. They give you like this dongle.
Oh, look at
I
that!
don't think it doesn't have is Ethernet, but they give you this in the box, and so you get like HDMI and VGA out. You get another USB-C for pass-through.
So you don't have to spend the $30, huh?
No, it just
so thoughtful.
Nice.
Only if Apple could have do that. Could have done
what an idea! It's white too. Yeah. I don't know, like a certain company's products.
I want to, before we wrap it up, I do want to talk to you about, I know you have lunch at noon.
Yeah, but I want to hear about your conspiracy theory. Oh,
yeah. Let's talk about this. So, you know how this thing has been going kaputs on me?
Mm-hmm.
So,
the MacBook Pro.
The MacBook Pro. So, I tend to do this. Like, I'm on my phone and I'm copying stuff for work. And I realize that every time I hold this phone in my right hand.
Oh, man, this is going to be way better than I thought
this is, yeah, if it's plugged in.
Yep.
Oh, dude, it's I'm telling you right now. If I hold this phone in my right hand and I touch the MacBook, I get shocked.
Oh, dude.
I have a constant vibration of something that I feel.
Is it a religious something?
Oh, stigmata's happening when I touch this. I'm just bleeding. No, but this is, I swear to God, if I hold it in my left hand, nothing. Hold it in my right hand and I touch with my left hand.
Stop.
I am getting shocked.
Oh, okay.
Okay, like
I thought you were going to say something different.
Where did you think this was going?
Well, I mean, I thought you were having a different effect depending on which hand the phone was.
So right now, I'm touching this. I'm getting shocked. Like I feel the not like a
static electricity, almost but a little bit more.
Like yes, exactly. Like almost like a vibration. Only if I hold it in my right hand. Not my left.
What if?
Yeah.
You're like that Glass character from the M. Night Shyamalan movie, except you're the real Magneto.
I could be the real Magneto.
You're a conductor of electricity.
Dude, I want somebody to explain this to me.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When you're holding the iPhone in one hand.
Now, I know.
And you're touching the MacBook Pro in the other. No, hold on.
Yeah.
Is one of the devices charging?
They're all charging. Yeah. So I get it. Your body conducts electricity. It goes through. I get it.
No, this shouldn't happen. You should never touch a computer and get a shock.
So this is plugged in. The Mac is plugged in. I'm
what
working.
if they're not plugged in? Like unplug them.
No, then it won't happen. Then it will not happen. Okay. It won't happen if it's not plugged in. So I understand that it's probably something, but this isn't normal, right? This can't be normal. No, I shouldn't be
electrocuted.
Be considering maybe this shouldn't be plugged in and then touching my MacBook. So I said, okay, you know what? I wonder if it's only this.
I can't believe this even occurred to you. This is amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if it's this MacBook. So I plug in my other MacBook, my 2015. Same effect. If I'm holding the phone in my right hand and I'm touching, right now I'm getting it. Right now it's like a rumbling feeling. Only if I do it with my right hand. If I hold it in my left and I touch this thing, no problem. If I hold it in my right and I do it, there you go. I'm feeling it. So there's something here. And I'm starting to think, I wonder if that's the reason why these MacBooks are going bad.
Because
that's the first.
Some electrical.
Two, why does anybody else feel this with their, test a different charger. It's every charger. Every charger. I mean, I've used, right now I'm in a hub. I'm in a USB hub. The other one I have at work. The other one I have in my bedroom. It is every single one of these devices.
Maybe what you're feeling is just the good vibes from Apple.
Ah, that's what it is.
Right?
You know, it takes courage to make someone feel good vibes.
No, this is like
Okay,
it's
do
like
you
your
think
little.
this
It's
is
like.
nuts?
Do I think it's nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I'm trying. I can't. I'm just trying to imagine
Oh, look at this. I
or
just put this
remember
in.
if I've ever experienced such a thing.
I just Google searched this.
Yep.
MacBook Pro gives me electric shock. How to avoid my MacBook shock from giving me minor shocks. MacBook Pro is giving me electric shocks. So this is a thing, apparently.
That's amazing.
Where if you hold... This is nuts. If you hold a phone that's plugged in and you touch your MacBook, you will get some sort of electric shock.
I think this is just a hidden benefit of these products that people never realized was happening.
It's a massage.
You
Look at
should
this.
go
This
to the
guy's
Apple
writing about it
store
too.
and give them a 5-star review.
This guy's
Free
writing about it.
electricity. It's like
The
a
shock
machine
is
Tesla
coming from
would
the
have invented.
laptop, not the charger, said somebody. But it's only when I'm plugged in and I have this phone in my hand. I won't get it if I just touch the MacBook.
It's because you're completing the circuit.
I'm completing the circuit, but
It's like when you get struck by lightning and it comes up through the ground, goes through your body, and
this shouldn't be a thing, right?
oh no, it should not be a thing. It sounds incredibly unsafe.
Yeah, this should not be a thing. I want people to realize I'm not a crazy person. I mean, a little bit, but I'm not. I'm not.
Have you tried this with your HP? The HP has kind of a metallic case.
I have tried it with the HP, and I get no shock of any sort with the HP. I get no shock of any sort with any other device. I get it on this, and I get it on my 2015.
The 2015 doesn't have USB, so it's not that. Right? That's the old magnetic style.
Yeah.
Control.
So it's a MagSafe.
Adapter.
So it doesn't matter. What I think it is that I'm completing the circuit. I have become one with the Apple products.
Yeah, you've literally closed the loop.
I feel like this is sainthood at this point. Like I feel like I've elevated in the Church of Apple. Now I'm a whatever higher level because I could feel the devices running through my veins.
Priest.
No, but this is. It says. Hopefully it's just a shock, says Grumpy Boy in our chat room. I don't think this kind of thing should exist. Where
what do you when you cut yourself? What color is the blood?
It depends on the day. It depends. Sometimes it's blue, depending on my. I'm like a mood ring. Nice. That's how you can find out what you just cut me, and you could tell like, he's melancholy today. It's green.
My cat has attempted to interrupt this podcast 4 times so far.
Look at this. Static shock. This is from 2016. Electric static shock when using both hands with charger on 2016 MacBook Pro. This is a thing. Oh, look at this. Same exact thing. Short static vibration when I run my fingers over the aluminum. Is this normal? Yes, I would imagine.
Running your fingers over the aluminum? No, that's not normal. Stop touching it.
Oh, this is... I want to see what the responses are like. Hey, man, don't touch it with both hands. Not unusual. A lot of people in this thread have covered this. Basically,
you're stroking it
Basically,
wrong.
You'll need to use a long plug connected to a ground and connection properly, rather than plugging into a power brick directly into the wall. Well, I'm not connected to any kind of power brick. I'm connected to... I'm not connected to the wall. I'm connected to a power strip on both sides. So this is, I don't even know why this is even a thought. I think it's quite a widespread amongst the entire lineup of MacBook Pros. I thought my 2011 was affected, but people were having the same issues. Maybe it's the metal plus electricity is not such a good idea.
Kind of like the metal plus an antenna on an iPhone 4 isn't such a great idea.
The phenomenon is called creeping current, and it's absolutely harmless. It's annoying for sure, but it's harmless. I would buy, he goes, buying the once included extension cord will fix it. Well, no, it doesn't, because I'm connected to that extension cord and it doesn't work. So I have now, this is a thing that I get this vibration shock when I touch my MacBook. Mm-hmm. I just wanted Paul to hear about this because I know you think this is absurd.
Well, now that you've said it out loud, you're just going to disappear.
Now I'm just gone. They're going to show up. The secret police are going to show up and ask me for my papers and take me away. But this is a real thing. Sure it is. I wonder if the reason why these logic boards keep going bad on me has anything to do with this.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Right? I mean, again, I don't know. I'm just throwing a theory out there. But could
Maybe
it be possible
because
that
you
I've
are
had
a particularly good conductor of electricity?
What does that mean
You are,
about
in fact, dangerous to MacBooks.
Yeah,
The problem isn't the MacBook; it's you.
Listen, I'm already banned from one one Apple store. I can't have a lifetime ban from all products.
Until they find out that you have you discharge electricity.
They're gonna put me in a
you're
lab,
the problem.
like Wolverine.
Yeah.
But is this a thing? But why my right arm and not my left? You know what I mean? Like, why when I hold it with this hand, see, I'm feeling it on my left side. I do not feel it with my right.
Why do you keep doing it? It's like when Homer Simpson goes and gets electrocuted on the pole, and then he's like, I got to try it again.
Yeah, I don't even feel it anymore. I'm just used to it. It's just like a cattle prod that's just hitting me.
Sure.
This is a real thing.
You're just dull to it.
And it occurred to me the other day that this is the pattern when I feel this. And I tried it on 3 different locations. Like, even too much iron, said somebody. I have too much iron in my body.
Oh, my God.
I want Apple to address this. And I really hope they tell me it's something that my body is doing. That my body's able to retain.
I think you do have too much iron in your body or something that conducts electricity.
I'm like Magneto.
You should get tested for iron. It'd be amazing. Or you have like high mercury count because you eat too much sushi.
It's possible. I had sushi the other day. This is
You're
a
like
real
a lightning rod.
Yeah, this is a real event in my life.
Sure.
And I would like someone to address this. I'm gonna edit this clip and I'm gonna put it. And I need a good headline for this. I need the most clickbaity headline you could think of. Man conducts too much electricity to use Apple products.
Name's Apple.
What did you say? Say that again.
And electrocutes MacBook Pro, blames Apple.
Yeah, it's possible. Hashtag not my MacBook. Guys, that's it for this week. Go to our website, gfknetwork.com. We're recording this on a Friday. It's 12 o'clock. Paul has lunch. I hope you enjoyed my story, Paul.
I did.
I hope it was worth it.
I'm concerned for you.
Yeah, I am too. Let's see what happens. I also have flu-like symptoms every time I touch this, and I vomit. Can you explain that? And it also makes me want to drink a lot. I'm just going to blame all my life's problems on this electric shock therapy I'm getting from this MacBook.
Using and
yeah. Go to our website, gfknetwork.com. Guys, subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available. Also, you can fund us on Patreon, patreon.com/whatthetech. Go fund us there. And we'll see you all next time. Take care.